the introduction lands really right in the middle of the story. The story concerns this open space, a green lung on the outskirts of the corporate town of Reading, which was agricultural land and for the past 110 years has been a golf course. It has now been turned over to an intense housing development, which the community, for many good reasons, has contested passionately over the 3 times it has gone before the planning committee. On the 3rd time of going for planning, Reading Borough Council did a complete U-turn and passed it. The first film is an edited version of the meeting, revealing the councillors' arguments for supporting the planning bid. You will hear at the end the deep distress caused to the community, in particular over the question of climate change and climate crisis, which you can see here in the scorched earth of this normally green space during this unprecedented heat wave. The local community, once planning had been given, did not really know what else we could do. So our organisation, Outrider Anthems, decided that what we could do was to stand in solidarity with the trees that are going to be felled to make way for the houses, and to stand with this space in all of its biodiversity. And that is what we did. We bound each tree with a white muslin cloth and stood beside it. It was a very beautiful and powerful action, both, I believe, for the trees in the space, and certainly for ourselves.
It's a world-class vanity project that has been relentlessly and ruthlessly pursued.
The golf club has always cared about legacy, but the role of planning is to consider what's in the best interests of the borough. The council will be receiving somewhere in the region of about £2.6 million in SIL, and then just under another £2 million in contributions.
The proposed development would require removal of 112 trees, Category B, Category C, Category U. The application will result in the removal of no high-quality trees.
There's no continuous green link, so it's a hypothetical green link.
The unfortunate thing is yes, this is private land,
which will be left to fester if it's not built on.
Unfortunately, developers are the ones with the money.
It is called capitalism, Councillor Robinson.
This will be somewhere in the future. Sorry, could you be quiet, please? That is carried.
I spy a magpie, one for sorrow.
Looking at the photographs and looking at the sort of variety of trees that there are here, you suddenly realise just what a special area it is. A lot of these trees, you know, I've seen from when they were a lot younger, and you kind of grew up with them. It's a lovely established trees and come into blossom.
We know now that trees extend just about as far under the ground as they do above it, and they're part of an intricate underground network that is life. When we cut down these trees, we cut down entire ecosystems. They've taken years and years and years to grow. And we can't just replace them at the drop of a hat by planting another tree somewhere in a place that's more convenient for us.
Arms outstretched, inviting a child to climb.
We just asked the arboriculturalist, what is a tree? And he then said, there is a definition of a tree. It has to be measured at a certain girth, 1 metre above the ground, to be a tree.
There are so many other trees that are being cut down but aren't even being counted as trees because they just don't fit the tree specification. I wish we could mark them all.
And it's fascinating, that mix between the dehumanising by giving the tree a number, which is what the developers did, and then actually kind of the other side of it where you have a relationship with the tree. It's easier to consider doing something to a number.
Binding of the trees, these gorgeous trees, feeling the connection with the land, with the trees, the contradiction of wants and needs of everybody.
Bound together, stronger together. Breeze, blossom, peace and veils.
We were also speaking to a lady on the way round, and she was saying how some of the younger trees were planted in memory of golfers, and whether they actually knew that their trees were going to be felled. So, yeah.
Newly born leaves brush the shroud of linen around the trunk.
It's the wildlife as well. The wildlife, home to so many different animals and insects, and even like under the ground, sort of the wealth they put back into the environment.
Sparks the childhood memories of a missel thrush diving on me.
There was something sad that was happening. In just a matter of weeks, this whole place wouldn't be the same anymore because it's coming down. All of the trees, all of everything, most of it will be replaced with buildings and flats. And we want to show as much support as we can. So that's why we are here helping out the trees.
People say that in time we will forget. We will just become accustomed to the new environment. People learn to endure, but they don't forget.
Beautiful white blossom, denied the chance to ripen into cherries to feed the birds.
I just went with the flow, with the connection, with the true feeling, which then, by the time I got home, I had a huge fever, which lingered for at least a couple of days. Who knows what that meant? A true honour, binding and honouring those trees, and I really felt that connection.
Your crenellated trunk is for charcoal rubbing, not for rubbing out.